Hey, Janelle. Mrs. Linda. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. Oh, me, oh my. Oh, excuse me. Hmm. Oh, yeah. A little bit. 3, 4 hours. Hey, Jason. Good to see you. Blessings. Uh, I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you. How are you guys? Mr. RG. Who is that guy? I know, right? Hmm. I'm actually, I don't even know, actually. I set this live just so you guys know. I don't know what's going to happen once I get off of this live, but um, at 10 o'clock, I set this live for 10:30. And then I went back into it and it said I had 3 minutes before at 10:18, it told me I had 3 minutes to go live till I go live. I have no idea what happened there. So I hurried up, I panicked and set it up. And so that's why it was spur of the moment. And so apparently hey, David, good to see you. Blessings to you and the missus. Thanks for dropping in. Um, that's why it was just unannounced, like it always is. But I've been trying to send notifications because you know how YouTube is; they normally don't. And I got this thing that popped up a couple weeks ago. Well, however long ago it's been since I made it to 1,000 subscribers, and I did all the application work uh, to be monetized, and it started giving me different options, more options. Mark, good to see you. Blessings to you. Thanks for dropping in. And uh, what was I saying? Oh, so I saw this thing to where you can kind of, without texting you guys or outside of YouTube, you can go through YouTube and give you guys a heads up. So I did it, and obviously it's not working right, or I didn't do it right. Probably me, but who knows with YouTube. Thank you, brother Mark. Always needs the blessings, that's for sure. Oh, anyway, I just wanted to drop in for a moment. Um, I normally don't even get to do this when I get to the house, so I figured I'd jump on and hey, Littlefoot, good to see you. Blessings, much love to you. Um, can you say where you have been? No, I can't. I cannot. I wish I could. Um, what was I gonna say? Um, yeah, I've been running out of steam by the time I get to this point. But tonight I'm not tired, so and I've been thinking about you guys every day, and I've been wanting to do a live on my free time or on my breaks, and I just don't have enough time, so that hasn't been working out for me either. So I kept reminding myself, I said, tonight you got to have a live. You got to do a live. So I'm glad I got to see. Each and every one of you tonight. We are Billy hungry. I know. I'm hungry for all you guys. What is that? MMA? Oh, I just got a pop up. Billy, in other words, that's classified. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's putting it mildly. when you when you get to keep all this, uh, you tend to try to blend, if that makes any sense. Oh yeah, Littlefoots, I agree. Yep. So I know you guys doing good. You're here with us. We're all in the same room together. That's always a beautiful thing. Any thump thump been watching videos about Holy Land all day. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I just caught on to that. Oh yeah. Yes, Billy. Is it classified? Uh, used to be. Now I'm just a fill-in. Billy, I hear that all the time from my brother. He's a gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, he's on the same side of the road. Then he understands. Same neck of the woods. Yeah, I didn't know that, Mark. Same last name, Mark. I mean, most 99% of the time, yes to that answer. I know, but he might be a stepbrother or something. You are the accident film and glue that is needed. Yes, yes. Helping a comrade. Yep. Anything good happening? Have I missed anything? I'm sure I have, but I missed you guys. That's enough right there, right? Billy Bondo. Billy, yes, most of his career. Now he is. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Those guys, uh, if it wasn't for those guys on just about every movement, there wouldn't be any type of, it would just be mass confusion. Let's just put it that way. Those guys are very important. Every other day. Lots to share with me. I know, I know. I got a lot to share with you guys too. I'm holding on to videos and I can't remember if I said anything about them or not. Um, I went to upload one and I had to take it down. And not because it was bad or anything, but I sent it to someone because they asked me. He's like, "What are you getting in the woods? What are you catching out there?" I'm like, "Well, a lot of things, and let me back up. The last video I got that day, I actually caught something, and which was very odd. I didn't know I did. I didn't have any feelings. I didn't see anything. No smells here. No smell, sounds, none of that. And I get home. I always go back through them. I didn't see it again. So somebody asked me to watch it, so I sent it to them privately. Well, about 30 minutes later, they come back and they said, OMG, OMG, OMG. That's all I saw in the text. And I'm like, oh boy. So, no, that's cool, Jason. That's cool. That's funny you brought him up. Um, so this guy sent Billy with Linda and RG, someone who will remain nameless, have been helping me raise my frequency. Evidently, I jumped timelines. Oh man, very interesting, Mark. I'll have to get with you and talk to you about that. So I definitely will too, Mark. That's interesting. Um, so I read his text. Well, now I want it. I know, right? So I read the text and then I went back and he time stamped it. And I went back and looked at the timestamp, and I mean, sad news for the channel. I'm not putting it out. Um, which also it's caused me to stop videoing two other farms. I will not take a camera back on either place. I'm not going back in there. I'm not even going to walk it. Um, not because of threatening issues or anything like that. Uh, Pretty much a message. Being asked not to, out of respect. Please, can you say a chick was? I don't know what that was. Thank you, thank you. You know me. I read everything, and I'm like, huh? So anyway, I sat on it for like 2 days and just thought about it. And Mark, as a matter of fact, Mark, you were the first one that time stamped Bigfoot on this property. And actually, Mrs. Linda and Janelle was a part of this that day. I was standing in a thunderstorm just past the big pond on public land, and I had a Sasquatch quartering me, following me. And then I had a spirit in front of it standing by the tree. You guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. I know Mark, Mrs. Linda, and Janelle, they will know. Um, I think I was on the phone with either Mrs. Linda or Janelle, waiting for the thunderstorm to let up. And as I'm on the phone, I lost service. And it was because I had them around me. You don't lose service with 5 bars or 4 bars. Can anybody, how do you do that? Unsubscribe that person or block them? Posh Elcrack. That is a bad word. I know that word. Yes. Okay, I knew you would. And so anyway, that's one of them. That's one location. That's the main location where I went back to since that day that Mark time stamped the Sasquatch. So anyway, I went back and there's more than one in the timestamp. I'll just put it to you like that. And about 50 yards from me. I've never ever seen I've never seen that and seen them in a huddle in flesh. Never. I've seen heads at at Red Line. I've seen where a couple of them will be, you could see their shoulders to their head, ducking up and down. And yeah, yeah, Mark, you time stamped it. That time stamp from you was my first Sasquatch at any Maryland location I had ever been to, where I had evidence. And he was in flesh. Big boy too. Big head, long arms. You caught him in a stride. His arm his arm was swinging with his steps and he was looking over his shoulder at me. That's how you got his timestamp. It was like he was waiting for me to move so he could go ahead of me or get, so I didn't see him. And of course I couldn't hear him because it was raining real hard. It's the same day that I had the no name following me in the thicket, and I got around the backside of the thicket and it pushed me out of there. I don't know if you guys remember because at that time, we're talking what, last year. At that time, I hadn't gotten myself together, my energy, my rhythm. They were taking control of me. Well, I spotted the no name like 30 yards peeking at me through a tree, a holly tree. And I freaked out because I had just had that encounter up at the public land. Hey, Dark Life, good to see you. Blessings to you. Thanks for dropping in. Salute. Um, and I got the H out of there, if you remember back, and get rid of that one too for me, guys. Let me see if I can do it. Uh, there you go. I got it. Um, so anyway, so let me tell you, I wasn't even. Man, it's a confusing situation. Um, so I left there. I looked at the timestamp, which I knew nothing about. I didn't know I had a group, a whole tribe watching me. Um, I go home, I eat, and Dark Life, are you gaming? No, I am not gaming. This is a adult family channel about cryptids. You're more than welcome to stay. There may be some people in here that do game. I don't. Thank you, Mr. RG. Um, so I go home, I do my normal, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I am notorious for sitting there and dozing off in like 5 minute increments. And I dozed off, and I got this complete thing, not stay out or anything like that, but it was definitely if the message was, it's time to move on. Hey, Mr. Carson, good to see you. Blessings to you. And I took that. That's exactly how I heard it. I took that and felt that that was related to what was just handed to me in the timestamp because they were all huddled up looking at me like a circle of kids, like they were worried. Like it was like they had never seen a human before. Or, and I don't like to say it like that because they are human. Uh, they just look frightened. So I'm not going back. I hate to sound blunt like that, but no, I'm not going back. And then the land next to it, I usually would park at the first place I'm talking about now. I'd go through the whole 300 some acres, come back to my truck, drive around to the next place, and they sister up together. And when you get back to the second part, what I'm talking about now, it gets really thick. And if you guys remember, I left that day and I went around to the back and I couldn't go walk in the woods because when I parked my truck, I found really, really tall X's, like 30-foot tall, big, I don't know, 10, 12-inch round logs, perfect symmetrical X's. I get out of my truck and I got these two cars casing me, watching me. One stopped and just looked at me, and I said, "This isn't good." So I got back. I stood there for like 10 minutes and watched them, and then I left. I decided to leave. So now I'm thinking that that day I shouldn't have been there. That was my tip that I shouldn't even stayed that day at either place. So, app. Hello. Hi, bro. Oh, okay. Got you. India. Cool. Thanks for dropping in. Blessings to you. Um, hairless one equals you. Oh, I got you. I got you. I'm I'm out there tonight. Yeah, it's and that's also the land that Mrs. Linda, you saw the Indians on, and then I got talking to Mr. Carson about it, and I went home and did some research on, and man, I'm trying to remember the Indians. Oh man, because I talked to Gigi about it, and I asked him, and he told me that they inhabited just about all of Maryland, but the way history's written, if you read it the way they have it written, it was like we went to bed one night back in their time, and when the white man woke up, the Indians disappeared. And that's how the Blackfoot's telling me too. So happened, but it was written like that. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. So I got somebody looking at this timestamp right now. Well, they go, and he works for the Smithsonian. I know him and his family personally, and he I hate using he, she, them, their. I don't like doing that, but I have to because of who he is. So what I'm saying, thank you, Mr. Carson. What I'm saying is somebody called him, and I haven't figured that part out yet because I didn't get a chance to ask him how he found out that this happened and that I had a timestamp of in flesh tribe of Sabbath, a whole tribe. But he asked me, he come right out. He's like, "Hey, can I give you a call real quick? This is very important." So I said, "Sure." And he's like, "Can I get that timestamp from you?" And I was kind of creeped out about it at first. And I'm like, I played dumb with him. I said, which one? The one of the fish we caught last year? Because he went fishing with me a couple times. And he started laughing and he's like, "Come on, man, you know what I'm talking about." And I said, "No, actually I don't." When I did. And then I mean I didn't feel I was lying to him, but I just felt like he was kind of invading at first because I don't share those kind of things with just everybody. And he is I got a phone call that you got an interesting timestamp the other day. And I said, "Really?" And then he takes me off course. And then obviously I forget to say, "Well, who called you and told you?" but I only had two other people that knew about it. So anyway, I let him have it, and he's got a buddy of his that he went to high school and college with. Their was at that pond I showed you guys, and they were chased out of there by, they said, looked like an overgrown grizzly bear with jet black hair instead of brown hair. And they said they come barreling at them where I was standing at in the corner on the phone with you guys in the thunderstorm. Now, mind you, another 50 yards back is where Mark got the timestamp. So that instantly made me, uh, believe everything he was telling me that they told him. And also, there's another thing I remember about walking out of there in the rain because I said it on video. I said, "Oh my goodness, guys, did you hear that growl?" Well, there's a gully on the other side of the pond. There's a road in the middle, a gully, and a pond. It was in the gully, and it's real thick. And as soon as I got right beside the gully, it growled at me. And I, I said, "Did you guys hear that?" He said, but I don't remember that part. I still had another 200 yards to get to my truck. You about fast stepping out of there. Oh, I did. So I told him about everything I could remember about that day. And then I told him about the timestamp. And that's when he told me about his daughter and his niece. Well, his niece, his daughter told him that his niece, she all but passed out. She lost like all the usage, trying to run down. She couldn't get back up. She was weak. When his daughter got her back to the car, she was dizzy. She couldn't talk. And I guess maybe that was infrasound, or it could have been just straight fear because they both laid eyes on it. A savvy ground means something. Yes, it does. And I have my own opinion about it. Like, I know his daughter. She's an adult, young woman, mid 20s. She doesn't live the exact perfect life. Let's just say that. Um, the niece is young. I think the niece is like Haley's age, but I think the daughter had a lot to do with that. But at the same time, how can I say that when I got growled at? Was I carrying a sidearm that day? Yes, because I hadn't gotten right with myself at the time, and I didn't know how to control my energy, nor the energy they were throwing at me. I didn't know what this meant, that meant. I just didn't know what I was getting into. I was just, as I am today, still learning, but at a newer rate, I guess you could say, or what have you. I was still in today, but a greenhorn. Savvy, I know, says this is why they do not come physically, is because their vibration can zap us. Yes, that is facts. I've had it done so many times to me. That organization has been tied to tribal land, sacred burial grounds being dug up, took giant man skeletons with blacked out trucks. Yes, Mr. Carson. Oh my. Ooh. Everyone on here is heavily guarded in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Against all. Absolutely. Amen. Amen. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Jason. I just had to say a quick prayer. Yes, Mr. Carson, that is facts. And, it's funny you brought that up just now, too, and shared that with us. And thank you, by the way, because you just reminded me. I just read an article that took place in Baltimore County here back in 78. Apparently, they had a Sasquatch. The way the article's written, I don't believe anything I read and only half of what I see when it comes to the government. Sorry, but that's just me. Uh, the Baltimore Sun wrote an article saying that there was a mad Sasquatch running around Baltimore City trying to abduct children, and it was living in the sewers and at Fort McHenry base or island. I think that's an island still. One part of it is. So anyway, at the bottom of the article it says, which I was none surprised. The local Baltimore County Police called uh, the local National Guard to eradicate the problem, and they recovered a body. And I think that was so wrong. Baltimore County, I went back and asked, elders. I said, was Baltimore County in a homeless state, poor state like it is today? And they said yes, it was probably worse. So you don't know what somebody had already done to that Sasquatch. But then you get somebody that's ignorant, not caught up to speed of what these other beings are, and they just assume, and they go get the army to go in and just shoot them with a missile or blow them up with an M16. I mean, it makes no sense to me. And that's pretty much what took place up there in 1978. And what I'm getting at is something else happened below that. So where that happened, it's only about 35 miles from here. And then I read an article about on my phone that in Cecil County that they had the same exact situation take place where they got two bodies. The Army National Guard went in and eradicated. So yes, Mr. Carson, I know. And now they just do it a different way. Anything black, you can relate that to the government. And I'm not being racist. What I'm saying is the black coats. Yes, they have not treated. No, they have not. They're still not. I don't think they ever truly will, Mark. It's sad, very sad. That organization took lots of Grand Canyon area. Yes, I watched a short documentary about the Grand Canyon and all the caves and so much, so forth. Hey, could you tell me about your dogman experience? Yeah, I actually have a video of it going. Take it. I'm videoing uh the situation as it was going down. Uh, I think it was over a year ago, to be honest with you. But yeah, I was. What happened was I went to a public land that I frequent quite a bit. Well, I was up until about 3 months ago. I'm gonna get back up there though. Um, yes, they are Littlefoots. Absolutely. Yeah, we don't. I don't. What I do. Um, what I do is I call anything associated with a DM a no name, and the reason for it being is just from my teachings and learnings up to this point, and I hope it makes sense to you because it made complete sense to me, and it changed my life as I changed how I approached it, and that's fact. The moment I stopped saying those names and I stopped thinking about it and I stopped trying to visualize it, I had less issues instantly. So now I just say no name or I don't discuss it. But I'll tell you the story about the no name. I had I went to this public land pretty regular. I have a lot of things that take place up there. I get a lot of timestamps from a lot of different things. Spirits, all kinds of different cryptids. I mean, just a lot. That land has a lot of history. good and bad. And I set up two gifting spots along this path that goes in about a mile and 2 miles maybe. The first gifting spot was a jar of peanut butter and a cupcake. I got to that, I would check that about every other day. Well, they were going to the first gifting spot and they were taking the lid off the peanut butter jar, unscrewing it. And when I looked in the jar, and it was full, by the way, they peeled the paper off and they were taking their fingers and scooping it out. And you could see their fingerprints and their nail marks. And here's the thing, they went in that jar. I kept checking it, like I said, every other day to every 3 to 4 days. They were only taking little bits. They were leaving enough for the next tribe member and the next tribe member, to the point to where they got down to the last quarter of the jar, and then they wouldn't touch it no more. They left that for me. And then they left me that it was two cupcakes. So they left me a cupcake and they took a cupcake and they ate half the 3/4 of the jar. So then I ran back and told all my family members in here, and it was just exciting. I got to the second gifting spot, and uh, I got to the second gifting spot, and it's a big beech tree that the whole top had been broken out of, and it had a hollow spot in it where it was like a shelf, and I set a jar of peanut butter up in there, and I set a couple crystals and a couple marbles. I left them candy, strawberries, hot dogs. Well, they wiped all that out, and they wouldn't touch the peanut butter jar. So I go back like a week later, and I didn't even check the first spot. I went directly back to the second spot, almost like I was being drawn back. I get back to that second gifting spot, and at the time, I didn't understand or know anything about grounding. We're grounded by many different things in the forest, and I had a pair of tactical boots on my feet. And when I walked up to the gifting spot, I had the toes of my toes of my feet and my boots. I put my boots right on the trunk of the tree, the roots. And I'm checking everything out. Well, they had wiped out all the gifts again, but the peanut butter jar. This time they left me a big rock. They took all the marbles and the crystals and gave me a big rock. And there was something with that rock, but I can't remember what it is right now. Oh, it was a mushroom with the stem on it. That was pretty cool. And I hear this panting, and the baller, good to see you. Carkeen, got you, bro. And good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Blessings to you guys. And as I'm hearing this heavy breathing from my right side, where the breathing's coming from, I'm up on this like cliff, and it drops straight off and goes right into the marsh to the head of a river. So I'm hearing this breathing, and I instantly map out in my mind, how am I hearing this heavy breathing 20 foot off the ground where there's no way that there could be anything standing that tall to where I could hear this breathing? And then all of a sudden it just dawned on me. I said, oh no. And I kept telling myself, don't look, don't look, don't look. Because I wasn't thinking no name. I was thinking a Sabbath that was upset with me because I was in its home, or I was just somewhere where I shouldn't have been. And I don't have to tell you the next thing. My heart hit itself. I turned around anyway. And when I turned to my right and I looked, my whole life changed that day. Oh, and I was armed. Um, I locked eyes with this thing, and my whole body went paralyzed. And my mind's telling me to run, then my mind's telling me to shoot it, then my mind's telling me just move, start walking. And I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything but just think. Then I got this god awful feeling in my stomach to where I was sick to my stomach. Then my head started going whoa, 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 and I couldn't hear it no more. And hey, Sharon, good to see you. Blessings. And all of a sudden, for some reason, this thing backs up about 10 paces, 10 steps. Now, mind you, to this day, I say it's 12-foot drop, 20-foot drop. I don't know, but it's high. This thing's eye to eye with me. Okay, his eyes were bigger than baseballs, but he was a wedge. He was broad at the shoulders, big, long head, gray skin, very evil eyes. His eyes told me killer. You know, us humans can look at you and smile without smiling using our eyes. I've seen killers. I've been anyway. His eyes told me and Jen were just talking about this the other night. His eyes told me I was going to die, literally. I knew it was it. I knew that either he was going to kill me or we were going to kill each other. I had already made my peace. Finally, for some reason, I backed off the stump in the roots of the tree. And when I did, I didn't realize, but I had my hand on my side arm. It wouldn't let me. Something would not let me take that out. I tried with everything in my body, my power, my mind, my heart. So that's when it got worse. That's when I knew I was dead. For some reason, now this is the crazy part. For some reason, I kept walking to it instead of away from it. And then I got common sense. I started thinking right. And I said, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Turn around, turn around, turn around. And I turned around and just beat feet out. I looked back one time. And when I did, let me see if I can do this for you. When I looked back, I seen his shoulders, his neck. He had a neck. He had a snout about 3.5 foot long, razor teeth, big teeth, and his whole body's flexing like this, and he's breathing and he's panting, and he's like this. And now he's up where I was standing in front of the gifting spot, and the rest is done. The rest is history. I was out of there. So yeah. Okay, Sharon. Good to see you. Oh yeah, 502. Woo! Wow. That that story just made me sweat. I got all worked up over that. I could feel all the energy and all the. That's one of the main reasons why I don't talk about it, and I started practicing not wanting to talk about it or to be a part of any of it anymore because I never realized it, but I was looking for trouble. And when you guys know yourself, when you're looking for trouble, what are you going to get? You're going to get trouble. Oh yeah, that's exactly how it went down. Like I said, I was just sweating. Yeah, for not. Thank you, Mr. Carson, for not having my act together. I guess I did. Well, I made it out of there. He let me leave. You know what I mean? I know that there was something that he either saw or I don't know. I just know it wasn't my decision or something I did to allow me to leave. He allowed me to leave. I've been in some dire situations in my life, and he let me leave. Thank you, R. Baller. That was it. I wish that on no one. I hope no one ever goes through that because it will change your whole life. But you sent a message strong. Yes, absolutely. Amen. Yes, Mr. Carson. That's right. Yeah, you did, Mark. You saw it. I remember that. It's crazy how I can remember things and then certain things. Well, it goes back to, when we started to decide that we didn't want to remember or be a part. But because of each and every one of you in here, I was able to learn and get myself together and learn how to deal with these situations in the different calibers and different energies that get thrown at us the way they do and what they use. And a lot of people get it confused with anger or aggression, and it's not. It's just their powers. It's what I've always said what they're born with, just like us, you know? They're no different than us. They just have a little more than us. They come from a different place than us. Not so much. Not all of them. I've always said that there's ancient ones and then there's ones identical to us. And I know that to be true. Well, after I talk to somebody else that we know, yes, that's what I truly believed. And that's not patting myself on the back. That's comparing notes because what the other person went through in the deer stand, absolutely. Because I think he allowed me to see him face to face because I think he wanted to put the fear in me before he took me out for my soul reasons. But when it was supposed to go down, I think he was made to give me a pass. No, this was at public land about 30 mile. No, about 18 miles from my place. 15, 18 miles. Not far though. Yeah, they do feed off of fear. And he knew I was scared. Yeah, it was definitely close by. Now, speaking of that, I've had not similar situations, but I've had situations where uh, I've yelled, I've yelled out my protector's name, Jesus Christ, and I've watched the woods go dead because they were alive. You know what I mean? With different things poking around, peeking around trees and orbs flying around that I had bad feelings about that I was seeing with my eyes, not the camera. And I screamed out my prayer and stood tall and told him that you can't touch me, you can't bother me. That I was the strongest thing standing there at that moment, and the whole woods went silent, and I never saw another thing the whole way out. So I am a witness to that is true. That's right. It was a beautiful thing to watch you grow and walk this journey. We are all part of your journey. Yes, you are, little foots. A whole lot more than you even know, honey. It's a big deal for me. Oh yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are my armor. You guys are my heart. You guys are my soul. You guys, us together, we're impeccable. I've always said it. You help me, I help you. The next person helps that person, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you look back on this line of this infantry that we built, and we're a giant ourselves when we come together. We don't even have to be together. All we do is think about one another, and we build that armor. Yes, fearful. Well said, Mr. Carson. Agreed. Amen to that. Hello, Guru. Guru. Marty Pants. Say Marty Pants. Okay, Marty Pants. I agree, Mr. Carson. I got long ways to go, but I'm learning. I'm finally slowing it down enough to where uh I'm making the responsible approach, more responsible than I was. This is what we are supposed to do. Share. Yes, Mrs. Linda. Amen. Boy, we've been getting bombarded lately, haven't we, guys? Woo! They lay it on us at just about every live now. All the Marty pants. So I'm gonna bring you guys up to speed on this 1,000 subscriber thing. I'm sure a lot of you already know. So I did the application. Yeah, yeah. I think that they know me too. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You're 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 a part of our tribe, so you absolutely they know you. I did the application for the store and to be monetized first and then open the store and then other things. And I didn't know this, but it takes about 30 days to get an answer to be monetized, which is fine. But I just wanted you guys to know that in case you hadn't seen the store yet. And I had to get uh, okayed by Google first, which they've already approved me, and now I'm waiting on YouTube to monetize. And then we'll get it started. 86,000 seconds. Woo wee! Oh, Marty Pants on restriction. So yeah, I wanted you guys to know that, and like always, how much I love you guys and how much I've missed you, and I'm glad we're all on here tonight. I think RG needs a new cat. Oh yeah, oh yeah. As soon as I get that bad boy open, I'm shipping. Why are you hiding in the darkness? Cause I'm scared of the light. Well, no, I better not say that's wrong. I disregard that. Why am I? I'm not in the darkness. It's just how my front room is. I live in an old farmhouse. We have candles and lamp oils. Carrie, it's giving horror movie. Oh man, you better go to bed then. You got school Monday. Now that was funny. I didn't know what to say. Oh man, you can tell I'm tired. Thank you, Mr. RG. All right, guys. I'm gonna jump off, jump in the shower, and get myself settled in, get some rest for tomorrow evening. And what was I gonna tell you guys? Oh, tomorrow I got to go to Middletown, Delaware. I'm good. I'm going to send you a message. Okay. I texted Raymond. Guess he is busy. Okay. Thank you. Um, I got to go to Middletown in the morning. When I get back, it'll probably be about 11:30, and I'm gonna drop by Red Line at my place, and I'm gonna do some video, and I'll get those uploaded because I haven't been up there in a while to my place where the creek and everything floods, the marsh, where you guys like it at. I think the channel has been bombarded with trolls recently. Brain tells me something is. Yeah, it's Mrs. Linda said it earlier. It's a bunch of kids. I think a bunch of gamers from one kid said. And I'm gonna get some footage out of there tomorrow, and then while I'm there, for the last 6 months, I don't know, something's changed up there. Of course, I think it's the tribe. I think it's Toby and them blocking me because they do it here. Um, all right, Mr. Carson, take care. Good seeing you. Blessings. Stay safe. Stay protected. I'll be seeing you. I'm gonna put some videos up tomorrow. I'm gonna try to go live while I'm there. I love going live there. Um, so I'll try that first. If I don't, I'm definitely getting some footage to upload before I leave there. Good night, Mr. RG. If that's what you're saying, or if you're saying good night to everybody else. Good to see you, Arball. Thank you, brother. You take care. Blessings to you. Thanks for dropping in. Make me one, Mr. Car. All right, guys. I love you guys. Blessings to each and every one of you. Keep you keep your eyes open for uh some footage tomorrow at a red line. I think you'll enjoy it because nobody's been in there, and it's always good going up there after not being in there for a few weeks. They always get so excited when I go in there. All right, guys, I love you. Blessings to each and every one of you. Sleep well tonight. Take care.